Hey guys, and welcome back to the land of Kenshi. Today we return to our heroine Sai as she rests in a bar in Cloudsteady. In the last episode, she risked her life for a measly 6,000 cats after her adventure in the grid. Sadly, this amount of money could only sustain her for a few more days before she goes broke again. She thought about returning to Shem and just giving up on this adventure, but she knew her pride wouldn't allow that. And so we decide on another gamble, and this time, Sai would bring along help with her. We ask around the bar, looking for anyone interested in joining our treasure hunt. Well, to be honest, most of the drifters in the bar were asking for prices that we couldn't exactly afford for now. In the second floor, however, there was a snappy girl who was maybe a few years younger than Sai. She said her name was Izumi, and she wanted a sponsor for her research. When Sai asked what research a child like her could even do, Izumi called Sai an idiot and listed off some brainy things that she was capable of, including helping Sai with her injuries. In exchange though, she wanted 2,500 cats to pay for the damages she's done around the town. The girl was probably more trouble than she was worth, but Sai wasn't in a position to be picky right now. With a very big sigh, she handed over the cats, and now we have our first companion. Looking into Izumi's stats, we see that she is indeed gifted in the brain department, with a high focus on medical skills and quite a bit on research. Her physical skills, however, were otherwise non-existent, and so, like Sai in the first episode, we set her off to run around the town to build up her athletics, while Sai visits the markets to trade for more supplies. The two meet again in the late afternoon, and we give Izumi a few scrappy pieces of gear before they set out of town, hoping to get to the southern way station before it got too dark. The way station got rowdier as the night went on. A few patrons got into a fight with some of the guards, and seeing the unique opportunity, Izumi helped haul away the trunks for a few hundred cats. With the morning sun rising in the sky, the girls leave the way station to explore the southern coast. I was hoping I could get them to find the ancient ruins I knew were down there, but didn't know exactly where. A few hours later, the sandstorm cleared up, and the two realized they were traveling along the coast. Sai was filled with wonder. In her whole life spent in the desert, she had never seen so much water, reaching as far as the eye can see. The pair carried on, eager to find the ancient ruins they heard so much about. At last, they found it. Snuggled to the side of a hill and forgotten by time. They carefully approached what seemed to be a lost ancient library. The ruins were mostly full of junk, but there was treasure amongst the trash. Quickly, I set the two to gather up the loot and found ancient blueprints in an old science book. These were items that were highly valued by the tech hunters. Not wanting to spoil Sai and Izumi's good luck, I set them to go back to the way station and hoped it wouldn't be too dark before they got there. Jackpot. The girls earned themselves 38,000 cats. Today's treasure hunt was a huge success, and they gave them a much needed rest for the night. When morning came, Izumi proposed the idea of seeking out the tech hunters to the east. They would no doubt have more information about the treasures of the south, as well as the proper travel gear for their journeys ahead. But heading to the tech hunters' territory meant going through the swamps, which is, as I said previously, one of the more dangerous parts of Kenshi. However, going around the swamp would take too much time, and so we head forth into the bog, hoping the girls don't encounter anything that would take interest in them. Although the swamp was home to a few friendly creatures, it was mostly a lair for bloodthirsty freaks of nature that swarmed upon travelers, dragging them away to a gruesome fate. And unfortunately for us, it was also the turf of many criminal gangs. The two soon find themselves chased through the marsh, and further chaos ensues as creatures and rival gangs join in on the fray. After a small commotion that involved some of the settlement's guards, the two patch themselves up and look around, soon realizing that this was no normal settlement at all. This was a slave camp, and that was the only motivation they needed to get out of there in a hurry. It wasn't long after that Sai and Izumi realized they were out of the swamp and have entered the bone fields. This ancient graveyard of giants serves as a home to many different beasts of all shapes and sizes, not any of which you'd want to anger. The girls hurry over the sands until they reach the walls of Khatun. The southernmost settlement of the United Cities, and perhaps its first line of defense against the monstrosities of the south. We'll rest here for the night, because attempting to cross the bone fields in the dark was a pretty foolish endeavor. We wake the two at the first light of dawn, and since we were in Khatun, I get Sai and Izumi to check out the famed Scrap Master's stock, said to be the finest collection of weapons in all of Kenshi. However, seeing how heavy each of these weapons were and the fact that neither of the two had any combat skill whatsoever, we decide to leave and seek out other gear for now. After replenishing their supplies, the girls set out to brave the wilds again. The bones of once proud giants lay forgotten in the sand, becoming part of the deadly landscape that makes up much of Kenshi's world. Out in the distance loomed a gigantic rusting structure, standing perhaps 1,000 meters tall. This is the city of Morn, a settlement controlled by the tech hunters as a base of operations. Here, we find an outfitting shop that specialized in all sorts of travel needs. But before the girls could fully enjoy their shopping, the town erupted in chaos as a flock of beak things broke into the gates. With the new equipment they bought, the girls make a dash out of the town as the tech hunters held the monsters at bay. They were told to seek shelter in nearby Flats Lagoon, where the tech hunters had set up an outpost for the purpose of exploring the mysterious region known as the Ashlands. Soon enough, they came within sight of the outpost, marveling in awe at the technologically advanced structure that lifted the town off the ground. Finally, they were safe. Despite the many dangers that plagued their adventure from time to time, Sai and Izumi felt grateful for their continued survival until now. As they watched the sunset from the safety of the town, the two excitedly laid down their plans for the next chapter of their adventure.